Welcome to the Bingham Town Council Extraordinary Meeting of the 27th of April 2021. Thank you very much. The Council's meetings follow the standing orders, and these are available on the Council's website. Attendees are reminded that the rules for disorderly conduct are 2A to 2C. Prior to the vote on each resolution, the Chair will repeat the resolution. Councillors wishing to vote against or abstain will then speak their names. If there are names spoken, then there will be a roll call of councillors. If there are only a small number of names spoken, then there will be a roll call of only those councillors who are against or abstaining. We now move on to the items on the published agenda. Item number 1, apologies. To receive apologies for absence and acceptance. Deputy Clerk, do you have any apologies this evening?
No apologies, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of interest for tonight's agenda.
I have one on item 7, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Shelton wishes to declare on item 7. Is that a non-pecuniary interest?
I'm not quite sure, but I've had discussions with somebody beforehand. I'm going to abstain from it totally.
Okay. Any other declarations of interest? No. Right, thank you very much. Item number 3, public session. Inviting members of the public to ask questions and make observations to Town Council. There were no questions submitted. Item number 4, the internal audit. To agree the internal auditor for the year ended 31st of March 2021. All councillors have received... Oh, Councillor Purdue-Horan's having connection issues, so Councillor Purdue-Horan will return later. All councillors have received the papers for this agenda item, and the recommendation at the base of the report is to proceed with quote B as the council's new internal audit service. I'll move that, and seconded by Councillor Mrs. Stockwood. Does anybody wish to speak?
No.
No speakers. So as with what I said, I will now repeat the resolution, and that is that we resolve to proceed with quote B as the council's new internal audit service. Anyone wishing to vote against or abstain will now speak their name. I've heard nothing, so there are no names spoken, and so that is resolved. Thank you very much. We now move on to item 5. Item 5, we have the written report before you, and the recommendation at the base of that report is to agree to write off the above grounds maintenance equipment from the asset register, and to note the sale of the grounds maintenance equipment for £20,000. Does anybody wish to speak? Nope, no hands up. So prior to the vote on the resolution, I'll repeat the resolution. So that is A, as written in the papers, to agree to the write-off of the above grounds maintenance equipment from the asset register, and to note the sale of the grounds maintenance equipment for £20,000. Please speak your name now if you wish to vote against or abstain. No names are spoken, so that is resolved. Thank you very much. We now move on to item number 6, which is the hearing loop system. To agree the contractor for the installation of a hearing loop at the old courthouse. There's a recommendation at the end of the report, which provides details. The report provides all the details regarding the new hearing loop proposal. And the recommendation is to agree the quotation for the fixed hearing loop system in the council chamber and 2 portable devices for the reception office and small meeting room at a cost of £1,870 plus VAT. There is an amount within the 3-year reserves plan for this project, as I recall. So, do we have any speakers for this item?
Please, Mr. Mayor.
No one's indicating, and there's no hands gone up virtually.
Yeah, my hand's up.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Wallace.
That's okay.
I'm not quite seeing your camera at the moment, Councillor Wallace. Sorry.
No problem at all, Mr. Mayor. I was just wondering why we hadn't managed to get any more quotations for that? Because there are quite a few businesses in the Nottinghamshire area that will provide loops. So it's my only question. I don't really have a huge objection to it, but I just wondered why we couldn't get any more.
Does Deputy Clerk wish to have any information that will answer the question from Councillor Wallace?
All I can confirm, Councillor Wallace, is on handover from the clerk last week. She had worked with the office staff to secure more companies coming out, but it had been unsuccessful, and it had taken some time to obviously put together this quote. So with the amount and obviously the fact of hopefully to resume in face-to-face at some point, the lead time on this quote, just to let council know, is 4 to 6 weeks. It seems everybody's quite busy at the moment, so the clerk didn't want to delay things further by continuing to try and ask companies to come out.
So my apologies. So just that, and it's a genuine question for people with more experience of this than me. Are there any problems with accepting one quote? Because normally we would ask for more than one quote. Is there anything that prohibits us for them accepting the single quote?
No, I've spoken with the clerk, and due to the amount and obviously the fact that we have tried to ask other companies to come out, which has been unsuccessful, she's confident that one quote is enough for council to make a decision on this item due to the amount. Okay,
thank you. Get no objection.
Okay, so there are no further speakers on item number 6. Item number 6, we are to resolve to agree the quotation for the fixed hearing loop system in the council chamber and 2 portable devices for the reception office and small meeting room at a cost of £1,870 plus VAT. If you're abstaining or against, please speak your name. Oh, hang on a second. Does anybody want to second that, by the way? I'm going to say
I'll second it. Alex second.
Oh, there's a fight on for that. So we've definitely got a second, just in case anybody wants to question me on that one. But we've had no one speak their names against or abstaining, so that carries. Thank you very much. Item number 7. Community No Waste Food Shop, to agree the term and payment for the community initiative to operate from the old courthouse. The item 7, you have the report before you. And the recommendation at the base of the report is to agree the use of the old courthouse as described for a community no waste shop, and B, to agree the use of the old courthouse as described free of charge for a trial period of up to 6 months. If I move that, does anybody wish to second?
I'll second it.
Councillor, who shouted I'll second it?
I did.
Councillor Lewis. Okay, Councillor Lewis and Councillor Wallace, I don't have your cameras on, but I'm happy to take that was Councillor Lewis.
Oh.
So we've got a second there. Does anybody wish to speak to this item?
Is my camera not on? My apologies. I thought it was.
I can see you, Councillor Wallace, and Councillor Lewis,
I can.
And everybody else.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Apparently we're having some network issues in some parts of Bingham at the moment, and I'm going to get half the cameras. Sorry. This is why I'm having to guess whether anybody's indicating to speak. So I apologise if I don't see your hand. Please speak your names if you wish to speak. We've certainly lost Councillor Purdy-Horan so far, and we are no one's indicating at the moment. Councillor Williams is indicating he wishes to speak.
Thank you. Yeah, just glad to see that we're able to come forward to the full council, and hopefully that we'll be supporting a community venture like this to help the residents of Bingham. I hope it goes from strength to strength to help the residents.
Yeah.
No further speakers, so we move to the resolution, which is to agree the use of the old. It's been moved and seconded that we agree the use of the old courthouse as described for a community no waste shop, and to agree the use of the old courthouse as described free of charge for a trial period of up to 6 months. If you're against or abstaining, please speak your name. No names are spoken, so that is carried. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item number 8, the linear park steps. To agree a contractor to repair the wooden steps of sets of steps near to the River Smite. You've had the written report before you, and the recommendation at the end of the report is to proceed with quote A, including the installation of the bridge barriers paid for from, and I believe there's a sum of money for linear parks in the 3 years reserve plan. Councillor Shelton, you've put your hand up.
As per a conversation with the clerk, probably Deputy Clerk should probably like to expand on it, but option A does actually seem to cover quite a bit of what the Linear Park group were asking, and also what was discussed with the groundsman probably 2 years ago. Probably the Deputy Clerk, through you, Mr. Mayor, would elaborate on that particular quote to give councillors an idea of what it involves. Thank you.
If the Deputy Clerk has some further information not included in the comprehensive written report, I'm sure the Deputy Clerk can share it with us, or we'll.
I went through the detail of what was going to be completed in quotes A and B, obviously with Councillor Shelton today as our representative of the Linear Park, and it basically just showed that obviously quote A had a little bit more in there with regards to the missing bridges, which is actually the bridge barriers, which is noted in brackets in the report. But we just went through them in a little bit more detail, and obviously I've reassured Councillor Shelton that whatever decision council will obviously be liaising with the Friends of Bingham Linear Park before anything proceeds.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further speakers? So I move.
Second.
And
Second.
somebody shouted second. Somebody shouted second. Who's shouting second?
Yeah.
Wayne was second.
Yeah. So the Deputy Clerk will work out who seconded it, but somebody did. I moved it and seconded that
Stapleton, stand it way.
to proceed with quote A, including the installation of the bridge barriers. If you're against or abstaining from item 8, to proceed with quote A, including the installation of bridge barriers, please speak your name now. We've had no names spoken, so we're now on to item 9. Item 9 is meetings format. To agree updates to the council meeting arrangements from the 7th of May 2021. So the underlying issue here is that there was a court case that was heard on the 21st of April regarding a legal challenge to whether or not virtual meetings can continue to be lawful for parish councils after May the 7th. That ruling hasn't yet been published by the court, so we are in a period of uncertainty as to what the format might be for future meetings. Currently, the situation is that after May the 7th, virtual meetings are not lawful, and the lockdown rules change on May the 17th. So I think the situation is constantly under development, and it might be the case that during this week that we receive further information regarding that court ruling, which will be a key influence on what kind of lawful meetings we can have and the format of the meetings moving forward. In the meantime, we continue to make arrangements for how to have a safe meeting in person or some form of other meeting, which is possible if that is what meets our legal requirements. So because of the current situation, then I'm wanting to move that we resolve to proceed after May the 17th with an annual town council meeting whose format meets the relevant legal requirements. I'll move that. Is anybody willing to second it?
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Councillor Shelton.
All right.
So does anybody wish to speak to this agenda item?
Apologies for my son bursting in. I think it's an eminently sensible idea. So yeah, no objections.
I think there was an intention that perhaps that we'd have some clarity by this date as to what we might the way we're forward, but we're continuing to try and work with all possibilities at the current point in time, and that's just where we are. So if there are no further speakers, any further speakers? Nope. I repeat the resolution, which is to proceed after May the 17th with an annual council meeting whose format meets the relevant legal requirements. That's been seconded. If you please speak your name, or if you wish to abstain or vote against. No names, so that's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The final item on tonight's agenda is item 10, which is to respond. The name of Mercia Court has been put forward for the access road to Rushcliffe Borough Council development of office units in the leisure centre and the community centre. So the paperwork is before you. There's a report which explains that RBC has put forward the name Mercia Court. You're asked to resolve then to respond to RBC how you wish to do so. Councillor Andrew Shelton's got your hand up.
Yeah, I would move that we accept that recommendation as before us, and I'm quite happy to propose it.
Okay. Happy to second that. Does anybody have any alternatives to Mercia Court that you wish us to debate?
No, I don't have an alternative, but is there any reason why they've picked it, just for interest's sake? No? Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have any information that other than what was in the writing. I know there was a Mercia regiment quite recently, so I believe it relates to an area within of which Bingham is part of, but perhaps it's a name that has links to a wider area representing the officers as a dynamic centre of economic growth within the area, and how the leisure centre and the community will attract people from a wide area around Bingham to in a wonderful new facilities. Councillor Mrs. Shelton, Councillor Mrs. Stockwood has got a hand up.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I looked up Mercia today. It is an Anglo-Saxon region, and it did. We just qualified on the edge of it, so that's another explanation. Don't want to delay your meeting any longer. Thank you.
I think we probably all did that. I think it's the Old English for the Midlands, basically. Pretty much.
Okay, well, my bluff has been called. Item 10. I resolve, sorry, Councillor Shelton has moved that we respond to Rushcliffe Borough Council that Town Council accepts the name Mercia Court. Yeah. That's been seconded, and having repeated it, we now move to, does anybody wish to say their name to object or abstain?
No.
No names, so that's carried then. Having completed the published agenda items, 1 through 10, I declare that the extraordinary council meeting is finished at 7:04 p.m. Thank you very much for your attendance. Those of us who are moving on to the planning meeting now, I think there's another meeting. Everybody else